guys, welcome back to my channel. I know this tutorial you were not expecting it from me, but actually here in Europe, I don't know in US or in other countries, it became viral, this cardigan from Harry Styles. He's a singer, and his sweater, his cardigan, actually made from J.W. Anderson, if I pronounce it right, which is a $1,800 cardigan. And they released the pattern. This is a crochet pattern, but you can knit it as well. So I was like really curious to do this cardigan, and it was a viral pattern. I hope you are interested on doing it too. It is a very fun project, and I really hope that you will like to. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. So to do this cardigan, first I took a cardigan that I thought it was the right shape, that showed me more or less the shape that I wanted to do for this cardigan. The only thing was that I had to add like 10 cm more to the length. So I put this cardigan laying flat on the floor, and then I took the measurement of the length of the cardigan, and then I just added like 10 or 11 cm more to the full length. There was included the border as well, of course. And then the front part has two panels, right? So I measured the width of one panel, and in this width I also have the width of the border in the front, which we are going to crochet that as well. So this was the second measurement that I took. And then the third one was the measurement of the arm. So I took the measurement of the full arm of the cardigan. And then of course there I also calculated that there was a small border, which I will tell you the measurements later on. Okay guys, so once I got all the measurements, I just want to show you the process that I went through on how I calculated the panels and what I had to crochet. So I did imagine the cardigan like this. So I calculated that in front I will have two panels like this, and the length of the panels, including the border, is going to be nearly 66 cm, but it doesn't have to be exactly that, but nearly. So it's going to be this part over here and the border, and also there's going to be the border over here. So I need this by 2 because I need 2 panels. This is the front side, and then I have one panel for the arm and another panel for the other arm. This is the right and this is the left arm. And then I have the back. As you can see, the back is going to get attached over here, and then the back is just going to be the double. You put these 2 panels together, and then you have the back. Of course, also you have the border down there, and then in the back of the arms you also have a rectangular panel as well. So this is the rough picture, and then from this I went on and I started calculating all the panels one by one, because for each panel we have small panels that we need to crochet, right? So I started with the front part, this panel over here. So if you can see, I have more or less 66 cm the whole length, and then I calculated more or less 6 cm the border. So I calculated that this part over here without the border is going to be nearly 60 cm, and I want to use 4 panels here. So 60 by 4 is 15 cm, so the length of this side over here, it's going to be 14 to 15 cm. It's not always exact when you crochet or when you knit, right? So this is how I got one measurement for one of the small panels, and then the total width from here to here, it's nearly 23-24 cm, and I calculated that the border, maybe I will do 3 to 4 cm the border over here. So I calculated 20 cm here, the width, by 2, because I need two square panels here. So this side here is going to be 10 to 11 cm. Okay, so this is how I calculated the size of one panel. So this is going to have 8 pieces. These 8 pieces I need to crochet with this size. So the size for this side is going to be one side, this down part here, 10 to 11 cm, and this side here 14 to 15 cm. Okay, so I need 8 of them. And then for the other side it's just the same calculation but in reverse, right? Side is the same, so I need 8 pieces over here as well to crochet with the same size of the left panel. So this is right panel, this is left panel in the front. So once I finished all the calculations for the front, then I have the back. So the back is just double, but I just don't have this, I don't have the border in the middle. So I'm just going to, it's like the calculations of this part, but by 2, together with the border here, right? Because we don't need this. So we are going to do the same measurements for each square, the same as the front, but by 2, so we need 16 pieces. So in front, for the front panels, we need 16 pieces, and for the back panel also we need 16 pieces with the same size. Then I started with the arms. So the arms, in the length, the total length, it was 43 to 44 cm, and I'm not going to calculate this border side. Maybe I will do 3 to 4 cm, maybe a little bit longer. We will see at the end. So I'm left with like 40 cm and 40 cm by 4, because I have divided in 4 parts the arm. And so one side over here it's going to be 10 cm more or less, right? And then the width right here, this measurement right here, it was like 20 to 21 cm, this one here. So this by 2, because I need to divide by 2 here, I'm gonna have 8 panels here in one side of the arm. So by 2, 20 to 21 cm by 2, it's like 10 to 10.5 cm. So the measurements for one panel over here are 10 cm. This part over here is 10, and this part over here is going to be 10 to 10.5 cm. This is how I calculated the arm, and I will need 8 pieces. The same is for the other side of the arm. So this is 8 pieces for the front, and for the back I'm just going to use the same calculation. So for the front I will need 8 pieces like this, and then for the back the same. And then I will have the other arm, which is this one. The only difference is just that we have the border in this side and not in that side, which doesn't really matter. So in the other arm the same, I'm going to have 8 panels in the front and then 8 in the back. Okay, so this is how I calculated. So for the arms in total, for one arm I will need 16 pieces like this. For the other arm, again the same, 16 pieces. And for the front panel of the body, I'm gonna need again 16 pieces, and for the back 16 pieces. So this is what I'm going to crochet right now. I'm going to show you how I did the crochet part, and then I will show you how I arrange the color using the picture that I found on internet. So I will show you the arrangement of the pieces. So now I'm going to show you how I did crochet the big rectangle and the small square, right? I needed these 2 sizes to crochet. For the front panel, I crocheted these big rectangles, and it was about the width about 11.5 cm, nearly 11 cm, and the length it was about 14 cm. So this was for the front panel and the back panel. And then for the arms panel, I crocheted these small squares. So their size was about 10 cm the width and about 10.5 cm the length. So now I'm going to show you how I did crochet the big rectangle. I used 100% mercerized cotton and a 4 mm hook, and I used 2 strands in the same time. So I started with a slip knot for the big rectangle. I made the slip knot and then I crocheted 22 chain stitches, because for this big rectangle I need 20 double crochets in the first row. So once I finished all the 22 chains, I yarn under and I crochet a double crochet stitch, but inserting the hook at the chain number 4. So here it is, my first double crochet, but the 3 chain stitches are also calculated like a double crochet. So yarn under, insert the hook at the next chain stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through the last 2 loops. So you just keep crocheting double crochets until the end of the row. At the end of the row, together with the 3 chain stitches, you are going to have 20 double crochets. This is for the big size rectangles. So just keep working until the end of the row, crocheting double crochets. Once I arrive at the end, it will look like this. So we are going to go back now to do the second row, and we are going to work with the double crochet ribbing. So 3 chains, turn your work around like this. Now you are going to count 4 chains, 3 chains and 1 stitch. So you are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are going to insert the hook actually at the stitch number 5, because the 3 chains that we do are calculated like a double crochet. So we cannot crochet in the first stitch very close there, okay? So you are going to crochet at the 5th stitch. And then you just keep crocheting double crochet. Because it's ribbing, double crochet ribbing, you have to insert the hook always at the back loop. Remember, always insert the hook at the back loop. Like this, you can have the result of the squares, of the rectangles, as I did. It looks really nice, the ribbing, the double crochet ribbing. So just yarn under, insert the hook at the back loop of the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, and yarn under, pull through the last 2 loops. So you are going to have more or less this kind of result. You can see here, you will have the ribbing there. Just keep crocheting until the end of the row, and you are going to have on the second row, of course, 20 double crochets. Don't forget, always crochet the back loop. Here it is, the last one. Do the last double crochet right there at the edge. Then just keep repeating the same process. Chain 3, turn your work on the other side, count 3 chains, count first stitch, which you have to skip, and then insert the hook at the second stitch, back loop only. Of course, you have to crochet double crochets. Then just crochet double crochet, back loop only, all the stitches one by one. Just keep doing that until the end. For the big rectangle, I crocheted 11 rows back and forth. For the small one, I started with 19 chain stitches, and then I have repeat the same process, and I had 17 double crochet stitches at the base, and I crocheted 8 rows forth and back. If you are a beginner and you don't want to do those pieces, those parts that have some kind of design with red and black, I will show you later how to do that kind of tapestry crochet. I will show you the whole pattern. But if you are a beginner and you just want to have a simple design with black and red, you can just combine two strands, one black and one red, and just keep crocheting the same procedure that I told you for the other colors, just that you do it with two colors in the same time. Actually, the result is quite nice, so you don't have to really be worried if the design is not right and you are a beginner. I also did quite a few patches like this, especially for the back, because with the design it takes a lot of time to crochet these parts. So I just did the same procedure as I did with the other colors, but in this case I did the combination with red and black. So if you are a beginner, this is a really nice way to do those parts that you cannot really crochet. If you are more than a beginner and you want to do this design exactly like the sweater, like the cardigan, then keep watching because I have the design for you. I have used in this case just one yarn, and then I have used a 3mm hook. I made a slip knot and then I crocheted it. In my case, for the size that I have showed you, for the small square, I crocheted 25 chain stitches at the base. This is how I started. But if you are having a bigger patch, then maybe you're just gonna have to repeat the design maybe then more than 3 times as I did. So I will put for you the design up here. So this is the pattern that you are going to repeat over and over again. So once I finished the chain stitch, then I have inserted the black color. So on the way back I will skip one chain, and then at the second chain I will start to do single crochet. So the whole first row is going to be single crochet, and the black color is going to be underneath, because like this I can hide the black color which we are going to use for the design later on. So if you see, I inserted the hook at chain number 2, and then I did a single crochet, and then I will keep doing single crochets all the way until the end for 24 single crochet stitches. So at the end I will have 24 single crochet stitches. The pattern that I'm giving it to you is for my size, the size of the rectangle that I used for the small one. But as I told you, you can use that for your size, because maybe your size, the rectangle you are going to use, is bigger or smaller. It's just up to you. You just have to repeat that pattern over and over again, as you can see. So keep crocheting the single crochet stitches until the end of the row, and you will have 24 single crochet stitches. As you can see from the sample, from my sample, I have this first row with single crochet stitches and the black line underneath. So now we are going to start the first row, and for that we are going to follow the pattern as follows. We are going to do 3 chain stitches with the red color, and we are going to turn our work. Then you will see that the black color, I will just put it underneath. I have to tangle it and work over it. So just follow the pattern. I will write down the pattern as well in the description box. So you can see that the 3 chain stitches correspond to the first single crochet stitch. So we are not going to insert the hook at the first single crochet stitch, but at the second one. So just follow the pattern, and we are going to do first 4 red stitches. So let's do those first. Then at the last 2 loops of the double crochet red stitch, I will change the color. So I will close this last two loops with a black color. So like this, you cannot see the transition. So the next stitch is black. So as you can see, the first two loops I close with a black color, but the last two loops I close with a red color, because the pattern follows with 6 red stitches. So this is how tapestry crochet works, and probably if you are doing this pattern, it means that you have some knowledge and you are not a total beginner, so you know why this is happening. So I will crochet 6 red stitches. At the 6th red stitch, the last two loops I will close with a black one, with a black yarn, because I have the pattern that follows with one black double crochet stitch. So before I do the stitch, I have to close the stitch with the coming color. As you can see, I close the last red stitch with the black color. So follow with one black stitch again, which I close with the red color. Then the pattern continues another 6 red stitches, and then one black stitch, and then the last of the pattern was, the last stitches were 5 red stitches. So just keep doing those 5 double crochet stitches until the end. Yeah, okay, so here we are. We finished the first row with the pattern as I showed you. This is how tapestry crochet works. Now I will start the second row. For that I will do 3 chains, and let's follow the pattern for the second row. So now we are going to crochet 3 more red stitches, because together with the 3 chains that we did, there we are going to calculate that as the first double crochet stitch. So there are going to be in total 4 red double crochet stitches. This is how the pattern is. So 3 and the 4th red stitch, which the last 2 loops I will close with black. Sorry for that, I need to close with black. And then I will follow the pattern 4 black stitches, then once those are done I will continue 3 red stitches, I will close with black. So I will repeat one more time this pattern: 4 black stitches, 3 red stitches. As you see, is the same as the previous one, and then I have 4 black stitches, three and 4. So I'm doing the 4th and the last one, which I will close with red because the pattern ends with 2 red stitches. Don't forget to check the description box, because I will leave in the description box all this pattern. Also, you have to check the community table, because I will leave there also the picture. So as you can see, I finished the second row. I will do 3 chain stitches and I will start the pattern for the third row. So the pattern for the third row starts with 3 red stitches. Be careful to keep the black yarn underneath. You have to carry the black yarn all the way. So 2 and the last red stitch, which I will close with black. Then the pattern follows 3 black stitches, which I will close with red. Okay, so let's continue with 2 red stitches, 2 red double crochet stitches. The second one, don't forget to close with black. And then we have 1 black stitch, don't forget to close with red, and follow with 1 red stitch, and 3 black stitches now. Which you will close with red. So don't forget to repeat this pattern from the 2 red stitches until the 3 black stitches one more time. So 2 red stitches, 1 black stitch, 1 red stitch, 3 black stitches. So the last ones are 4 red stitches, so you did 2 and the last 2. So here we are, we finished the 3rd row. Now we're going to start the 4th row, and first we do 3 chains, turn your work, always carrying the black yarn. So we insert the hook at the 2nd stitch, and the pattern is 3 chain stitches, and then we have 4 red stitches, so 3 and the 4th one. The 4th one we will close at the end with a black color, and then we have 4 black stitches, so the 4th one we will close with red color the last 2 loops, because the pattern follows 1 red stitch, we close with black, and then 1 black stitch, we close with red the last 2 loops, we close with red, and then we have 1 red stitch again, which we close with black. So now the pattern that we will repeat one more time is from 4 black stitches. One more time. So we will do 4 black stitches, 1 red stitch, 1 black stitch, 1 red stitch. Yeah. And then at the end we have 4 black stitches, please check the pattern in the description box as well. I will write it down for you there. And then the 4th one, of course, we will close with a red color. Because the pattern continues 2 red stitches. So 1 red stitch and the 2nd red stitch. So here it is, the 4th row. We have finished the pattern and we will start the 5th row. So the pattern starts with first doing 3 chains, turn your work, carry the black yarn underneath, of course, and then the pattern continues 2 red stitches, so the chain stitch is already 1, so we will do 1 more. And then the second one we will close with a black color. The pattern follows 5 black stitches, And the fifth one you will close with red because we have one red stitch to do now. We close with black and then 6 black stitches, and the sixth one, of course, we will close with red because we will repeat one more time the pattern, 1 red stitch and 6 black stitches. So repeat one more time, and then at the end we are left with 3 red stitches. So here we are, we finished the 5th row. So now, as you can see, we will start the 6th row. First 3 chain stitches, and then we follow the pattern, 5 red stitches, turn your work. So we already have the chain stitch, which serves as a double crochet, so we did the second double crochet red stitch, and we have to continue doing the third one we did, and 2 more red stitches. So 4 and 5, which we will close with black because the pattern continues with 2 black stitches, and then we close with red. And then we have 1 red stitch, and we close with black and 1 black stitch, and we close with red and 3 red stitches. So 1, 2 and 3. The last 2 loops close with black because we repeat the pattern again, 2 black stitches, close with red, 1 red stitch, close with black, 1 black stitch, close with red. Sorry, one more time. So the last 2 loops we close with red, and then we have 3 red stitches, so 1, 2 and 3. Then I will close with black, and I will do 2 black stitches, which I will close with red. And I have 3 red stitches to do. So 1, 2. Now here I did a mistake and I kind of skipped 1 red stitch, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter at the end. It doesn't really makes a big problem with the pattern. So you just have to keep that in mind, that you have 1 more red stitch there to go. So this is the 6th row. And now we are ready to start the 7th row. So with this pattern, if you follow the pattern, is 3 chain stitches, and then we have 2 red stitches from the picture. But actually we are going here to do 3 red stitches, because as you know I skipped 1 from the previous row, but you can just very easily follow the pattern. So then I did 3 red stitches, and one black stitch, and then the pattern follows as the picture. Then I have 4 red stitches, which I close with black, because I have 1 black stitch, which I close with red, and then 1 red stitch, close with black, 1 black stitch, close with red, and then 4 red stitches, three and 4, close with black. Then we have 1 black stitch, close with red, 1 red stitch, close with black, 1 black stitch, close with red, and the last are 5 red stitches. So here we are. Okay, so once I have finished the full pattern, but for the size that I need, I had to repeat 2 more rows. So I will start to do the first and the second row one more time, and then I achieve the size that I need for the small rectangle for the arms. You can see that I use this pattern also for the front side for the big rectangles, and I repeated this pattern 3 times there, and it was repeated 3 full times. But at the top I didn't repeat 2 times. So you can just keep crocheting and repeat this pattern as many times as you need to. I had to repeat 2 more times. So here is the finished size as I need. I did 2 more rows, and then I will do 1 more chain stitch, and I will pull some yarn and cut. And here I will just pull the red yarn more, so I will make a very strong knot and everything will stay in place. Okay guys, so this is what I used for the arms, and as I told you, I made a few pieces for the front side with the pattern, and for the back side with the beginner friendly pattern, just the combination of 2 without pattern. Also for the front side I did the big rectangles with the pattern, and for the back side I did without the pattern, just because it was easier this way. So you choose. So here it is. I finished all the patches in all colors and all sizes. I will leave all the quantity for each color, each size in the description box. So once I finished them, I had to arrange them. So I will show you, first I will show you the arrangement of the front part on the left, and then the front part on the right, so you can see the arrangements. So here how they look both, and this is the right arm on the front, and then I arranged the left arm on the front like this. This is how it will all look together, the front side. Then I had to sew them. I just used a big needle, a tapestry needle, and then I used the black yarn by 2, and then I just sew 2 patches, 2 pieces this way as I will show you now. It didn't really matter to me that the black was showing, because like the original design, it has a lot of colors showing, two patches together, so it looked actually nice. So I just first sew vertically pieces, all 4 pieces, as you can see. So once I sew one vertical piece, I sew 4 of them vertically, and then I had to sew all together those vertical patches. And then I had the full front size and the full arms. Then I started with the back side. So I will show you how I did the arrangements for the back side. So here is actually the front side all sewed up. And now you can see how I did the arrangement. This is for the back side. Now you will see the right arm on the back, and this is the left arm on the back. And then I had just, of course, had to sew them with the same technique as I showed you previously, 2 of them together, and then once I had a full vertical line with 4 patches, I had to sew them. As you can see here, I had 4 vertical lines for the back and then 4 horizontals for the arms. So those 4 verticals, I sewed them in between them, and then the arms in between them, and then I had to attach them to the body. This is a full view. So you have all the pieces together here. Now the only thing I need to do is to sew them. So as you can see, I placed the back side and the front panels, the front side. So I will just sew them as I show you with the finger on this way, and then the other side again I will sew on top there, and then under the arm, and then on the side, with the same way as I did to sew together the patches. Okay guys, so here it is. I already connected all the pieces together. As you can see, I sew it here, here, and up there, but be careful, don't sew until the end because you will need this opening for the neck. And the same thing I did on this side, here, here, and then until there. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is the border here, which I'm gonna do with this color. and I will show you the measurements. Also, I will need a red border over here, a red border here, and a red border on this side. Then I'm thinking to do also like a color. There is a red color for that. I will give you all the measurements. Okay, so let's start with this border over here first. I think the border is going to be in two sides and it's like 2 to 3 cm, and then we will have the buttons, so they will overlap. And then the down part, I think I'm gonna go with 5 to 6 cm red border. Okay guys, so at the bottom, as you can see, I did the first border like this. So I just went all around this kind of measurement. So you just crochet all around. So the measurement of the down border is about 6 cm, 5.56 cm, like this. Make a slip knot, and then I crocheted it. So in here I have 13 double crochets. So I started with a 15 chain stitch. So I'm going to crochet 15 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. So what I'm going to do here is the same that I did for the panels over here. I'm just going to do the double crochet ribbing. Okay, so I will skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. I will insert the hook at the 4th stitch, and I will do double crochet, and then I will continue to do double crochet until the end. I have 13 double crochet stitches, 3 chains, and I will turn my work. And as we worked for the other rectangles over here that we did, I'm just going to insert the hook at stitch number 5, but back loop only, as I did for the others, because I'm gonna do the ribbing. So back loop, just back loop, and double crochet. So I will just continue crocheting double crochet, but back loop only. Okay, so here is how it is going to look like, and then I will just keep doing the double crochet ribbing, 3 chains, and then work double crochet, back loop only again, and I will keep crocheting all this back and forth for all the length that you need. And then I'm going to do the same, but a smaller length for the shorter lengths for the arms. Okay, so here are the arms. I just crocheted again. I just use the same calculations for the down border, but this one is shorter because it's for the arm. As you can see, it will look like this, and I will just sew over here. So I made 2 of this for both arms. Okay, so here we are. I did this border over here, and then I did this border over there, and then I did this border over here. So this is done. Now I need to do the border in the center over here, which is going to be from the top up here until the bottom here of the red border, okay, until the end here. So for that I'm going to use this light blue for the border over here. I just did the same as I did here, the double crochet ribbing, but I crocheted 7 double crochets rather than 13. So I started with 9 chains, and then I just continued, so I started 9 chains, and then I just continued doing the double crochet ribbing, but I had 7 double crochets here. I did the length that was necessary. And I'm gonna do the same for the other side, because I need to put another border on this side as well, which will go on top of here, and then we're going to put the buttons. Because I'm using double crochet, you can insert the buttons right here, right? So the other piece you can just do same as this one, and then this one we will attach to this panel. Let me show you. So this one will be attached to this panel over here, and the other one will be attached, which I already did, to this panel over here, and they will overlap. These 2 blue ones will overlap, and we need that because in here we're gonna put the buttons, so we need to button it up. so they need to overlap. And the next one is the collar up here. So here it is, also the collar part. I started with 42 chain stitches and I ended up with the first row working 40 double crochet stitches. So I just used the double crochet ribbing again. I went on for 55 rows forth and back, and as you can see, the collar, it covers the back side, and the front side as well covers the yellow patch and the orange patch. And now I am just going to sew it all. Okay, so now let's just sew all the borders one by one, and let me show you how it all came together.